Hey guys, so this time what we're going to be doing is we're going to be seeing how to do the final assignment of the class. So I have the zip file that you should be able to find in my courses under the assignment tab. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to zip it, and then I'm just going to be bringing it here, and I will run that folder. So this is a fairly small size project. It's about 45 megs compressed, but once you start adding more stuff to it, it's going to be a little bit larger. So what I haven't planned for this is make a separate tutorial on how to do a source control. But for now, for the submission for this assignment, just upload the zip to my courses and you should be fine. It's not really going to increment that much. It really depends on the size of your models. But I'm just going to open this thing and I'm going to pause the video here so I can continue once Unreal Engine is done loading. In this case, I'm working it on a 426. If you have a newer version, then probably you should be able to just update the project and everything should be fine. Okay, so that said, this is what my project looks like. Sorry about the interface. It's pretty large. I'm working on a 4K monitor and it's kind of custom to the size of my screen. But anyways, this is sort of the content that you should be able to see. Right now I have the folder Alberto. That's the one that I have for all of the base materials and blueprints and stuff that we're going to be doing in class. Demo room is part of one of the templates that Unreal Engine provides on one of the tutorials. So it has a lot of different things in it. Content example, also part of what the Unreal Engine has, some physics and things in there. Mannequin is where it's going to store all of the animations for the character that we're going to be walking around in the world as. And then IGME219 at this point only contains the maps folder. So the first thing that I need to do in here is make a new folder, and I'm going to call that my last name. So you should do the same. Now that you have that folder in there, that's when I'm going to be starting to import my models, but that is going to be on the next part of the video. So look for the play button, and once you hit play, you should be able to see this character just walking around in the world, and your world is pretty much empty right now. It's just this small room that says IGME219, and it has a couple of empty pedestals. That's it. That's the only thing that I can do in this level. All right. So I'm going to stop that. And the first level that I have is the started one, right? So if I go to maps, that is going to be P08 starter. What you need to do is first and foremost, open, well, that's the file that you have open, but go to file and say save current as. Okay, so save current as, and that is going to ask you where you want to save this. Put it in IGME219 maps, and now instead of calling this P08 starter, this should be called your last name, right? P08 Padilla, and then your first name initial. So in my case, L. And I hit save, and then I have exactly the same level as I had before, but now it says something in here like preview. So don't worry that much about that preview. That preview just means that I have not revealed my lightings, and I have not built the lightings on this thing because this is the first time that I have opened it. So if I want to reveal my lightings, I just need to go to here and say build options, build lighting only, and that takes a while. So I'm going to do that while that is happening in the background. I will just pause my recording and I'll come back to it once the whole thing is completely done. So now that the lights are done, I'm gonna hit play, and I should not see the thing that I have down there. All right, so that's it. I have both my POA, Bobadilla L, and POA starter. There's a couple of things that I can do in this blueprint. All of them are going to be controlled by clicking on the main room, and then you should be able to see some different properties in here. So if I make this thing go larger, and I can add as many rooms as I want, I think up to 30 is the limit. But by default, you're just going to have the 3 rooms that have the default scene. So other things that I can change here is the double height, like make this room like taller and such like that, but we're not really going to be dealing with that, at least not in here. The only thing that I, as a teacher, not you as a student, I'm going to be doing is, in order to connect all of them, this is going to be more or less the behavior of a linked list. I'm going to have all of the maps in the same folder. That's why it's really important for you to follow the naming convention, which is again going to be P08 underscore and then your last name. And then that is how I'm going to control how to switch to the next scene. So what I'm going to do here is, I don't really need to switch anything in here unless you want to add more assets onto these, in which case, make something like 4 assets and then take these 2 things, Control W, and then just move it onto the next room. And then you can make as many as you need, but I'm not going to do that. Me as a teacher, what I'm going to do is create that link to the other folder. So right now, this is going to be the IGME219, my last name. So in my room, what I need to do is click on the IGME219 and then go to the title text. And in title text, this is where I can change that red line, just leave it in there. In description text, what I want you to do is change for your name. So in my case, it's going to be Bobadilla Luis. I don't really go by Luis. I go by Alberto, which is my middle name, but whatever. So I just want to have something that reflects my name in here. And I'm going to show you how to bring in the assets in a second. I'm going to show you how to export them from Maya. But what I wanted to show you too here is that if I select the room, and I go and say, instead of next level, it says none. None is the default for an empty. Sort of a string is different than a string is a name. It's sort of the same behavior, but it's a different data structure inside of Unreal. If I say P08 underscore starter, what's going to happen is as soon as I run my code again, this new thing is going to appear. That arrow, and when I get into the volume of this thing, that is going to launch the other room. See, the other room was still the description, the base description, and now it's empty. I cannot go to that room because again, the behaviors of linked list. In my first room, I don't have anything that brings me back to Bobadilla L, but Bobadilla L can take me to starter. So that's the way that I'm going to be doing this linking of all of your files. But for that, you need to follow the naming convention. So POA, last name, first name, initial, and then we should be fine. All right. So inside of Maya, and let me just jump to Maya real quick. I'm going to have this model. All right. So this Pokeball, whatever is the size of the model that you created, it may vary for when you bring it to Unreal. And that is going to be really important down the road. So what I'm going to do is go to my file and go to my game exporter. If you don't see game exporter, you need to enable that to Windows, setting preferences, and plugin manager. Then scroll down to game exporter, game FBX exporter. So have the two of them enabled. I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to go file and then game exporter. That is going to bring in this window. And what I need you to do here is say export all, and I will be like smoothing groups, skinning, all of those by default are fine. These other settings, you don't need to modify. Those are going to be okay just by default. But then you have to choose the export directory. In my case, I'm going to export them directly to where my FBX or my project is. So I'm going to be exporting it in here. And this one is going to, I'll need to say choose. And then in here is going to let me select the name. So this one is going to be Pokeball. I'm going to actually call it SM underscore Pokeball, as in static mesh Pokeball. And then I'm going to hit export. So once I have that, I'm going to export the other assets that I have for the different homework assignments that were due before these. So I'm going to open what Pokeball here. So I can go with heavy ball. Sure, why not? So heavy ball, and that is going to open that in here. Choose the directory. It's the same directory that I have there. So export, and this is going to be heavy and export. Let's export all. Let's do another one just for fun. I'm gonna take the timer ball. I hit open. I'll save this one. Continue. Then I want to export all. Thinking about stuff. There we go. FBX export, so where my XPX files are. Oops, didn't like it. So here, choose, and then this is going to be timer. So those are the assets that I have. Yours, of course, are going to be different. But now inside of my Unreal Engine, what I need to do is go back to IGME219. Again, this is really important for the sake of your project. I have Bobadilla, which is the file that I just created. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an individual file for each one of the assignments. Right. So here I'm going to make a new folder. This one is going to be Pokeball. It doesn't really matter what is the name of the folder, so long it's consistent. So for instance, let's say that Pokeball is my homework assignment 5. So P05 underscore Pokeball. So that's good enough for me. I'm gonna go inside of this one and I'm gonna go to file import and import this thing. That is going to say, where do you want to look for the file? Now, in my case, I know that I have to look for it. So I think I have it in my Google Drive and 3D models. Yeah, there you go, Pokeballs. And I need to look for my images first. So that's the first step for me. It's going to go source images. And I know that I imported let's look for the files. I imported the Great Ball. And I need the Great Ball normal map as well. ORM, if I exported that from Substance Painter, those are the 3 files that it's going to give me. That's actually the heavy ball, right? That's what I imported. So heavy, heavy, and heavy. Then I also did regular Pokeball. So Pokeball base color, Pokeball, and Pokeball. And last, I did the timer ball, and time. So I'm going to import all of those. Just single try. I'm going to move those files in a minute because I'm putting everything inside of Pokeball and that's not exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to be taking these 3 and I'm going to be taking these 3. I can just drag and drop them into Bobadilla. So the parent folder, move here, that should be fine. All right. So I'm going to make the other folders for this. This is going to be P06 and heavy ball. So I'm going to take these 3, just going to move them inside, and I'm going to make another folder, and this is going to be P07 and timer. Right, so those are my 3 assets. So I didn't name it P06. So sometimes this may happen to you. If I hit enter, probably it's going to create 2 folders. So if you right click on the other folder, the faulty one, and then go to where it says fix up redirection in this folder. I know that is off camera, so you wouldn't be able to show it to you. See if I just move it up. That is going to clean it up. If you have ever this issue inside of the Unreal Engine, they have an empty duplicated folder. So fix up redirections in this folder. That's how it's going to get fixed. All right. So I have the 3 of them. I'm going to go inside of Pokeball. I'm going to hit add import, and I'm going to import now the Pokeball that I exported. That is going to be living inside of my folder Pokeball exports. So SM Pokeball. Oh, I didn't name the other ones SM. That's okay. I'll rename them later. So all of the default options right now are fine, but I'm going to show you something. So right now I know that my Pokeball is very small because if I drag and drop it into the world, it's not the right size, right? So if I press F, so it's going to focus on it, but that's really not the size of the Pokeball as I wanted it to be. I can change that on import time. So because of that, I would need to know what is the right size of the Pokeball. So for now, I'm just going to choose a size of, I don't know, maybe 5, 6? 6 is a good good size. So I'm just going to say 6. And it looks fine. It looks fine for all the perspectives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the world. And I'm going to remove my SM Pokeball. Force delete. And I'm going to re-import it. So add import Pokeball. And I'm going to take a look at my SM Pokeball. Now this time around, I want to change the import uniform scale. This time it's going to be 6. And hit import. And that is going to fix the size of the Pokeball. It's always going to be of this size now, which is great because now I know the other Pokeballs were created exactly the same way. So I can just import them directly with a size of 6. I have a special thing that I added here in order to fix it if you don't have the object in the right size, but it's better to know the actual size of these, so it's always normalized to 1. So that is what Pokeball is. Then I'm going to go to Heavy Ball, and I'm going to hit Import. You will notice that it will create the materials. I forgot to mention that earlier. So it's Heavy Pokeball. If I hit Open, that is going to maintain the last one that I created, so that's 6. And I'm just going to hit Import All. And that is going to have my material. Again, if I drag and drop this, it is going to be of the size 6, so that's great. This is sort of a small model. Kind of make that on purpose. I'm going to show you why. But SM Pokeball. At the end of the day, what you want to do is use these as the pedestals that are going to be showcasing your work. You'll notice that you have 4. They are meant to have homework assignment 3, homework assignment 5, 6, and 7. But if you want to add more things in here, like you want to add the animation for Freddy or something, you can. I already show you how to scale the size of this room. All right. And the last one is going to be my timer. So I'm going to add import timer ball. That is going to be of the size of 6, and I'm going to hit import all. Now that I have that, I'm going to drag and drop it into the world. Oh, that is the material, sorry. Timer ball. SM as in static mesh, and drag and drop it into the world. So good size, but generally speaking, a Pokeball is going to be small, at least in terms of what my world is going to look like. So now that I have these folders, what do I do with them? Well, I only have the 3 out of the 4 that you are required. So 3, 5, 6, and 7. This is homework assignment 8 in this context. So what next? Well, making sure that you are in your P08 underscore last name letter, what you need to do is say, well, first of all, what is your name? So again, click on that, go for description text, and then put your last name or name, whatever you want to. If you want to fill some information in here, that's good as well. Then move to this special blueprint that I created in here. And what I want you to do is take a look at the properties. In here, I have a property called display, and that is going to be of the type mesh. So in here, it's going to let me choose whatever mesh I want to add into the world. In my case, I'm just going to select the SM Pokeball, and I can click on this arrow. That is going to bring that asset in here. Okay, and then if I move it up, what I'm going to be moving is the whole thing. So I don't have a control over just the Pokeball, because now the Pokeball got appended to this blueprint. If you want to change that, in here by default everything is going to be scaled up to 5. So if you want to scale it down for, let's say, half of the size, 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5, that is going to make the Pokeball smaller. The other thing that I can do is the location. So if I click on C in the Unreal Engine is pointing up. So if I see, it's going to be better if I hide my face. There you go. Properties are here. If I click on the Pokeball and then click on that thing, it's going to be bringing it onto this position. So now I can move my Pokeball up. So whatever position works for you. Every 100 is going to be 1 meter because this is in centimeters. So I can put it 1 or 2 meters up in the air. And I can go and change the other things on the property. So for instance, right, so under demo display, you're going to have a couple of properties. The one that I'm looking for is model. So in this case, I will just name these Pokeball. If you want to add a number onto it, like let's say this is assignment 5, you can do that. Just hit 5 here, and that's going to appear this number on the top. So to recap, if I want to see that, what I'm going to do is select this one. Now this time around, what I want to do is the Pokeball or Heavy Ball. So I'm going to look for my mesh. So under mesh, I will take the SM Heavy Ball, drag and drop it here. So that is going to be the one that is on display. The scale is, in my case, going to be 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5 to make it a little bit larger. Location, I'm just going to move it up until it's on a decent looking position, and then I'm going to look for the text, and then under text I'm going to change these to Heavy Ball number. This is my homework assignment number 6, so I'm going to say 6. I have 5 and 6, and let's do that again just to recap. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to look for my heavy ball. So here under mesh, I'm going to take the SM heavy ball, drag and drop it. It's going to be there. My size, my scale is going to be 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5. And then on location, I'm just going to move it up. This one is facing the opposite way. So probably I want to just change the location of my Y. That's going to push it forward. And I also want to take the rotation of Z in account. So let's do 360. Actually, 180. My bad. So it's facing forward. And I'm going to save that. I forgot to change the model. So model here, this is going to be timer ball. And the number, this is assignment 7. So I'm just going to hit save. All right. Now, if I did everything right, when I hit play, what's going to happen is I'm going to have my character just be able to walk around the world. Going to be able to see my name, last name, the Pokeball in the pedestal, 5 Pokeball. But if I get close to it, it is going to start rotating. So that is going to let me explore the whole model. If the file doesn't work or the size doesn't work, I can just make it smaller or larger. And then that's going to happen exactly the same. Whenever I reach a pedestal, that is going to give me a full 360 of the model at whatever position it is located at. Okay, so that's it. I didn't have one in here, but that's everything you have to do for your homework assignment. Make sure that you change your last name and your name in here. Make sure that you add the model, whatever order you want to follow, it's fine. Just let me know what assignment is. So say 5 and then the name of the model that you're adding in here. And do the same for the other 4 boxes. If you want to add more things in here that you want to showcase, that's perfect. I already showed you how to export how to make this world larger. And that's it. In here, I'm going to just jump to the other scene and you will see that it's completely empty. So I'm going to hit escape and that's that. So after I'm done with all of that, I'm going to save file and save all. Save all levels. Actually save all assets. That is going to save every single one of these things. And I'm going to go to file and I'm going to say package project and I will say CPOP project. So when I CPOP this project, I'm just going to put it on my desktop. I already have a P08, so I'm going to look for P08 underscore done. I'm going to hit save. So that is going to start zipping up my project. You can see it because it's outside of my area of recording, but in the corner of my screen, it's showing me that it's completely done. If I want to package this for Windows, I can just go to File, Package Project, and then I can say Windows 64-bit edition. And then again, look for wherever I want to save it. So in my case, I want to put it on the desktop, and it's going to start packaging it. This is going to take a little bit more time than my zipping up. It also is warning me about the nights need to be rebuilt, and I already show you how to do that a bit first. So build options, build lighting only, and that is going to save that. Okay, that's going to take a little bit more time, and I want to keep the video short, so more short as possible. That is it for this video. This is the end of the semester. This is what I'm going to be receiving for your final submission by the exam due date. So after that point, I'm going to start compiling it and have a single scene with all of the files. So probably I'm going to do a video recording, or if I'm able to, I'm going to compile to web and I'm going to share the file with everybody so you guys can see everybody else's work and probably just walk around in a character. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be seeing you guys later.